Brilliant stuff.
You know, we've given ourselves a wonderful chance, but we haven't been able to defend well enough. And when you play against a really top team like this, then you have to defend well. I can't really remember my goalkeeper making that many saves, to be honest. But, you know, some of our defensive work, the second goal in particular, the first one's a deflection. You know, I think we've got to do better than that if we're going to beat this team like this. But overall, our attack and play was good. We played on the counter-attack and just weren't quite good enough on the night.
At one point, I think I forgot what it felt like to actually play a game. Unfortunately, there was no fans, and the family couldn't come. But it was another proud moment in my career, and another one I won't forget.
What important is after win the Premier League, the players are a little bit distracted. They a little bit parties and at home and drink a little bit more than usual. But it's normal. You have to celebrate. Just one day training session, come here. So the spirit was there, the aggressive, the regain the ball and play, and it doesn't matter what happened. You know, 1-0 down, come back, 3-2 down, come back. So that is good. They just learn, come back as soon as possible on our routine and focus and concentration, and arrive in the best condition as possible in the fun.
Well, apparently there were beers and there was pizza, and maybe that explained a little bit of a hangover. They didn't really look themselves, did they, in the opening
Not
kind
at
of
first, but they deserved their beers, certainly. They deserved them, and I think the definition of a few beers is different now than it was maybe 20 years ago. But you're right, compared to how we've seen Manchester City in the past start games, they were a little bit slow out of the blocks, but once they got going, Pep was right, they started to become
And
sharp.
another record, Leon, as well, because that is the 23rd consecutive away win, which is the most ever in English football, to add to the other records that they have. Karen, has he got now a dilemma on his hands, really, Pep Guardiola? Because Ferran Torres had a very impressive performance. He says he was bought as a winger. He's playing now as a striker. Is he not going to have to go out and splash the cash after Aguero?
Well, you're right, he's giving him a headache, because this young man has come in and kind of thrown it up in the air. You see him here coming into this false nine position, which they've played all season, really. But it comes into nice little pocket spaces, opens it up, nice little touch, and opens it up for Gunder when the shot wasn't quite there. But this is what I really like about him. You're right, he came as a right winger, left winger, but he's really causing issues. So he's straight away in there in the set play. He starts off with Shelvey, actually, and he's unmarked, and then he comes in and it's just a really tidy finish. You know, it's a difficult as pace and whip on the ball, uses the outside of the foot, and the goalkeeper's got no chance in that. This is probably my favourite clip, though. He's walking in and he's really unmarked. He knows where the defender is. He's not going to get anyone close to him, and he just kind of goes in. And that's a typical number 9. Now, in the 6-yard line, he's got an open goal there. And again, this little clip, he's got really good awareness and slows down, and then he darts across, and it actually opens it up for the shot. But what's impressive and what you like about him is that this reaction, that's a really difficult, you know, follow-up to come through, and he went away with a match ball, and you're thinking, you know, a young man, he's 21, cost 20 million. Is there any need to go and spend £150 million now on a centre-forward when he can deliver?
Let's talk about Newcastle, who are having quite a positive end to a really disappointing season. What has been the difference for them in the last month or so?
Well, they found a way of scoring goals. You know, that's 7 goals in the last 2 games now. They've started to be able to hurt the opposition. The general feeling was that, you know, they're very defensively well set up, but they couldn't find a way of attacking the opposition. They needed St-Maximin and they needed Wilson to be able to do that, but it wasn't the case in the last 2 games. These 2 players, Almiron and Willock, have been incredible. The distance they cover, the ability to start from a good midfield position to help the team defend, but then the moment they win the ball back, you see that there with the Shelvey sitting in front. These 2 spring into action and they get up alongside the strikers, they get past the strikers, and they're always in a position to help out. And suddenly they go from being back behind the ball, Newcastle struggling to get out, to having 4 players in the Manchester City penalty area and Manchester City scrambling to be able to defend it. And, you know, it happened time and time again in the game where Manchester City felt that they were in control, the players were all behind the ball, but one pass, and suddenly both of them are the furthest players forward in advanced positions, but they're not necessarily finished there. They'll then make another run, Willock in particular, but it happened again. You know, here this is the final penalty kick where, again, Willock and Almira, one of them running beyond the other one, getting into dangerous positions, causing all sorts of problems. And, you know, the stats showed that they cover an incredible amount of distance. They help Newcastle get forward. And, you know, for a team that had struggled to score goals, had struggled to get out, I think that's 15 goals in the last 7 games now. And, you know, Steve Bruce has found a way of, I'd say, found a way of entertaining.
Can he find a way of keeping Joe Willock, though? He's on loan, of course, from Arsenal. He's now the youngest player ever to score in 5 consecutive Premier League games. Are they going to splash the cash for him?
I'm not sure. I think they probably need him. You know, you're seeing the way Newcastle like to set up. He scored 6 goals in his 12 appearances for Newcastle. That's an incredible return. I wouldn't be surprised if they did everything they can to keep him.
OK, thank you.